From stories across the world to stories here at home, this is the national broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nitya Chandra.
A very good evening to you. I'm Dishan Veerakon, and now let's take a look at the top stories for tonight.
The President emphasizes that a student-centered education system should be created in the country. A committee appointed to rectify salary anomalies in the university system. The parliamentary group meeting of the UNP ends up tensed. A telephone conversation recording between MP Ranjan Ramanayake and former bribery commission head Dilrukshi Dias Vikramasinghe.
Now in your top story this evening today is the Ritu Full Moon Poet Day, which marks many milestones in the history of Sasana. Many religious observances were held throughout the island today. Historical chronicles of the Sasana state that Lord Buddha first placed foot in Sri Lanka on a Ritu Full Moon Poet Day after the defeat of the Yaksha tribe. Construction work of the Mahiyanganaya Dagaba, in which the hair relic of the Buddha is reposed, commenced on such a Poet Day. In addition, the historical records of the Sasana state that upon the invitation of King Bimbisara, the Buddha visited Rajgaha with 1,000 arahats. The establishment of the ritualistic invoking of merit and the enthronement of Prince Sri Sangabo at the Mahiyanganaya Stupa are also events associated with this Poya Day. The 194th Dhamma sermon of the Amma Dham Sisila Dhamma sermon series, conducted with the objective of bringing about a wise and religious society, was held at Temple Trees under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa this morning. Today's Dhamma sermon was given by Venerable Dr. Kolonave Sri Sumangala Thera. In addition, the Prime Minister joined in an initiative to distribute artificial limbs under the program Jivaya. The Sadharma Varsha religious program, organized by the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation on every full moon Poya Day, was telecasted throughout today. The pinnacle of the newly constructed stupa at the Dhulapitiya Duna Gahapurana Mahabodhi Vihara was unveiled today. And the Sadharma Varsha religious program, organized by the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation on every full moon Poya Day, was telecasted throughout today live from the Thapitiya Bodhi Raj Mahavihara in Vadua. The program included Dhamma sermons, Dhamma discussions and a number of community-centric tasks. The Sadham Yatra Dhamma sermon was conducted by Venerable Dr. Mavara Lebadya Thera.
ප්‍රාදේශීය සභා මන්ත්‍රීට හෝ පළාත් සභා මන්ත්‍රීට හෝ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීට හෝ ගරු අගමැතිවරයාට හෝ ගරු ජනාධිපතිවරයාට හෝ විතරක් අදාළ ඒවා නෙමෙයි. මේ මාතෘකාව අපි සාකච්ඡා කරන්නේ පොදුවේ අපි යම් කිසි තැනක බලවත්ද අන්නේ බලවත් වෙලාවේදී අපි හැසිරෙන්න ඕනි විදිය.
The pinnacle of the newly constructed stupa at the Dhulapitiya Duna Gahapurana Mahabodhi Vihara was unveiled amidst a number of devotees, with the chief prelate of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Varakaguru Jnana Ratanathera, and the Mahasangha in attendance. The pinnacle was unveiled by the Diyavadana of the Sri Daladam Madigava Pradeep Nilangadala. To coincide with the Ritu Full Moon Poya Day, a special program organized to display relics on veneration is underway at the Madhyapola Vihara in Giriulla. Devotees can venerate the relics until the 13th of this month.
Now, the 2019 Convocation ceremony of the General Sir John Kotalawala Defence Academy was held at the BMICH yesterday, and today President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the chief guest. The Convocation ceremony was held to confer first-class degrees and postgraduate degrees of 1,282 students across 9 faculties. First-class degrees were awarded for 224 students graduating in philosophy, while 1,057 students graduated as bachelors in science and in postgraduate qualifications. Second Lieutenant M.D. G. Veer Singh received the award for the best performing Army member of staff, while Sub-Lieutenant M.A.A.S.L. Vijayaratna received the award for the best performing Navy member of staff. Flight Officer H.M.J.S.B. Herath was awarded as the best performing Air Force member of staff. The top performer of the year was Second Lieutenant J.A.D. Veer Singh. These performers received their awards from the President, whilst the President was presented with a souvenir.
General Surgeon Kotalavala Defence University is a very special institution in our tertiary education system. It was conceived as an academy to train young officers from the 3 armed services and provide them with higher academic qualifications. This institution has produced many young officers for all 3 services who have gone on to serve their country with distinction. A number of them have also made the ultimate sacrifice for their motherland. My own personal association with the KDU goes back many years. My last posting during my career as a military officer was as its deputy commandant. Later, during my tenure as the secretary to the Ministry of Defence in the government of President Mahinda Rajapaksa, this institution was elevated to the status of fully fledged university. Today, the General Surgeon Kotalavala Defence University provides high quality undergraduates and postgraduate education for both military officers and civilian professionals in a variety of fields. Education system is unfortunately today, actually, generally, education system is unfortunately an exam-centric one. It is biased towards narrowing students' opportunities for higher learning instead of expanding them. This is particularly a problem at the secondary school level. Irrespective of the skills, aptitudes, and knowledge gained by students throughout their primary and secondary education, their future is effectively determined by their results at national level examinations such as the GCE ordinary level exam and the GCE advanced level exam. This focus on exams has created unhealthy competition within the students' population. Because only a small proportion of students who sit for these exams continue on to higher studies, parental pressure and social pressure on these children is immense. This results in large number of children losing out on many opportunities to develop themselves in other ways during one of the most decisive periods in their lives. To prevent this, it is essential that the education system becomes truly student-centric. It must recognize that every student is unique and the different pathways should be made available to them. The education system must actively enable children to identify their strengths at an early age and guide them towards appropriate fields of study in line with their interests and abilities, and also practically beneficial to them in the future. With the guidance of their institutions, they must develop the skills that are in demand by the market. Universities must also offer more degrees, diplomas, and other higher educational qualifications that are in high demand by businesses. The 21st century is widely acknowledged as the knowledge century. Many new technologies ranging from artificial intelligence, big data, robotics, the Internet of Things, biotechnology, 3D printing, and automation will reshape economic growth in developed countries over the coming decades. With the guidance of their institutions, they must develop the skills that are in demand by the market. Universities must also offer more degrees, diplomas, and other higher educational qualifications that are in high demand by businesses and which must be catered for in order for the economy to develop in the future. The 21st century is widely acknowledged as the knowledge century. Many new technologies ranging from artificial intelligence, big data, robotics, the Internet of Things, biotechnology, 3D printing, and automation will reshape economic growth in developed countries over the coming decades. Our students need to become prepared for this. As technology advances more and more, the ability that people have to change careers midstream needs to be improved. As such, it is very important for more higher educational institutions to provide continuing education options such as online education, weekend education, and open learning, so that those who are already employed can acquire new knowledge and skills without disruption to their work. By increasing the skills base we have in the country through vocational and industrial training, we will be able to increase the productivity, efficiency, and earning capacity of our workforce and more rapidly develop as a nation. As outlined in my policy statement, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor policy document, which has now been endorsed as the policy document of the government, we have ambitious plans to effect the reforms that are required in the education sector from preschool through to the tertiary level. We will work hard to ensure that the desired uplift in quality and effectiveness of the education sector take place. This is a considerable challenge, but one that can be met with a concerted effort. I invite all stakeholders in the education sector to work together with us in a positive spirit so that we can achieve these reforms for the betterment of our future generations and our Sri Lanka.
Now, the government is focused on appointing a committee to rectify salary anomalies in the university system. The committee will be tasked with studying the prevailing issues and presenting recommendations through a proper procedure. This decision was announced at a discussion held at Temple Trees, chaired by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Several ministers, including Minister of Higher Education Bandula Gunawardena, the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, the Chairman of the University Grants Commission, and representatives of trade unions were present at the discussion. Venerable Iluk Pite Panyalokathera was appointed Chief Sanganayaka of the Northwestern Province, was presented with the epistle and the Vijanipatha by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at Temple Trees yesterday. The Thera called on the Premier to change the Yahapalane type of governance and fulfill the responsibility of bringing about a Shraddha Bhimani type of governance. Now, in the meantime, a recording of a telephone conversation between MP Ranjan Ramanayaka and Mrs. Dilrukshi Dias Wickramasinghe after she was removed from a post at the Bribery Commission has been released. The telephone recording was released at a media briefing convened by the Sinhala organisation today. Now, the United National Party has not been able to appoint a new leader so far. The UMP parliamentary group meeting was held yesterday, reportedly ended without a decision. The party's parliamentary group is scheduled to convene on Thursday for further discussions in this regard. The meeting commenced at Sirikota at around 4 p.m. yesterday. At the debate-filled meeting, the names of Speaker Karu Jayasuriya and former Prime Minister Ranil Wickramasinghe were put forward for the party leadership. A few MPs also put forward MP Sajid Premadas's name. It is further reported consensus was not received for the proposal on appointing a leadership committee chaired by Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. 33 MPs expressed their views during the meeting. UMP General Secretary Akila Viraj Karivasam said the final agreement of the working committee is needed with regards to the party leadership. A heated debate was reported between MPs Navin Disanaika, Ajit P. Pereira and Sujiva Senasinghe, and also between Professor Ashumar Singhe and MP Harin Fernando. The majority stance was for a vote to be taken to select the party leader. Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva said some were of the view that a leadership committee should be appointed, and this was the proposal put forward by the leader of the party. However, some were of the view that one leader should be appointed. UMP General Secretary Akhila Viraj Karyavasam said the proposal with regard to a leadership committee was to have Speaker Karu Jayasuriya head the leadership committee, and if not, the alliance together with tasks of MP Sajid Premadas as opposition leader and former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe as party leader. The proposal focused on these three sides. However, MP Karyavasam said contradictory views were voiced.
Now, a committee has been appointed to inquire into the task of the Central Cultural Fund. Thereby, its functions covering the period from 2016 to 2019 will be inquired by the committee. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, in his capacity as Minister of Buddha Sasana, Cultural and Religious Affairs, appointed the committee today. The committee is headed by former High Court Judge Gamini Sarath Edrisinghe, while Gotabe Jayaratne and Harigupta Rohanadira are the other members. The committee is tasked with inquiring into whether funds have been properly utilized and whether revenue has been earned properly. The committee will also inquire into whether expenditure has been in line with regulations and an assessment into the loss.
Now, State Minister Lakshman Yapabewardena says a special program will be prepared to upgrade the Mahinda Rajapaksa National Tele-Cinema Village. The State Minister announced this move, joining in an observation visit of the Ranmihithane Tele Village yesterday. The Tele-Cinema Village was created to bring about a society equipped with artistic values. The village spans about 235 acres in extent. It provides filming facilities for local and foreign artistic creations. Local films such as Paba and Gautama Siddhartha and foreign films such as Bombay Velvet and Solar Eclipse were filmed at this village. Secretary to the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Professor Sunanda Manduma Bandara, joined the visit.
Meanwhile, an initiative of marketing the products of Samurdhi's self-employers online has been introduced. The agreement in this regard was signed between the Samurdhi Director General and the Daras.lk organization yesterday. Subject Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi, State Minister Tharaka Balasuriya and a number of dignitaries were present at the signing event. Under this initiative, the products manufactured by Samurdhi beneficiaries are directed to the open market through the internet. The government states the objective of this move is to uplift small-scale entrepreneurships. The initiative covers over 1.8 million Samurdhi beneficiaries. Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi observed the manufacturers received a low price, whilst the middlemen earn a high profit by finally selling the products. She stated this initiative is a message to the manufacturers that the opportunity is open for them to place their produce to be purchased by buyers who are ready to make such purchases. The second step is based on the government's target to enable the production of food without toxins. Now, the final perhara of the Durdu pageant of the historic Kalaniya Raja Mahavihare paraded the streets last night. The Durdu pageant of the historic Kalaniya Raja Mahavihare commenced festivities on the 1st of November last year. Many religious observances were underway over the past 2 months at the Kalaniya sacred site. The casket of relics to be paraded in the final Grand Perhara was placed on the caparisoned elephant by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Grand Durdu meritorious ceremony of Kalaniya came to a close with the parading of the Grand Perhara yesterday. The series of Pinkam were organized by Chief Prelate Venerable Professor Kollupitiye Mahinda Sangha Rakita Thera.
Now, the first lunar eclipse of the year will be visible tonight. Professor Chandana Jayaratne of the Department of Physical Sciences at the University of Colombo says the eclipse will be visible as a shadow eclipse. The eclipse occurs when the Earth transits between the Sun and Moon, thereby casting its shadow on the Moon. The eclipse commences at 10:38 p.m. and will end at 2:42 a.m., reaching its climax at 12:40 a.m. Professor Jayaratne says the eclipse will be visible as either a partial or a total lunar eclipse. Now, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says it is the responsibility of the Chief Justice to restore the confidence lost in the court system as a result of the telephone conversations of parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake. The Premier expressed these views at a meeting held with newspaper editors at Temple Trees yesterday. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said by the release of the controversial telephone conversations, it is clear as to the extent in which the court system has been influenced. The Premier alleged that the cultural fund was destroyed, and it is under such a situation that the government has to go forward rectifying faults. State Minister Mahindananda Gamage said MP Ranjan Ramanayake should not be cornered as this has been state-sponsored. He points out the former Justice Minister alleges that 5 individuals, namely the then Prime Minister, former Ministers of Justice, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, Patali Champika Ranawaka, Ajit P. Pereira, Kumar Disanaike and Ranjan Ramanayake sat together and took this decision. Minister Dhal Mangala said the seriousness is in the influencing of the court. The former Justice Minister and 2 Solicitor Generals have testified in this regard. Parliamentarian Udaya Gammanpilla said from the time the 19th Amendment was proposed, they pointed out the independence of the judiciary will not be assured by the amendment. The MP further stated for the first time in history, evidence is out, revealing that politicians interfered with the judiciary, and this can be described as the darkest moment in the history of the courts.
දානවවෙනි සංශෝධනය අධිකරණයේ ස්වාධීන කරේ නැහැ කියලා අපි 19 ගෙනාපු දවස් ඉඳන්ම කිව්වා. ඉතිහාසයේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට අධිකරණය දේශපාලකයන් විසින් ඇඟිලි ගැහුවා කියන සාක්ෂි එළිවලා තින්නේ මේ අවස්ථාවේ. ඉතින් මේක අධිකරණ ඉතිහාසයේ අඳුරුම අවස්ථාව විදිහට අපි දකිනවා.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena said today Vasantha Samarasinha is accusing the government of talking about retail issues and not about the issues faced by the country. The minister accused the opposition of driving the then government in the direction of hunting down the war heroes of the Rajapaksa regime through an executive board. The minister further stated now such individuals are hiding and trying to form a separate opposition to launch revenge politics. Now, the Dhal Mangala of the Sri Dhal Mangala was held in keeping with traditional rituals opposite the premise in which the sacred tooth relic is placed this morning. Now, this is an annual ritual conducted with hopes for prosperity. This is the first festival out of the 4 annual festivals observed for the sacred tooth relic this year. The first grain of the paddy harvest from the Dehiyattakandia Yakure farmland was customarily placed in the granary situated at Pallikale. In keeping with tradition, the procession from the temple of the sacred tooth relic proceeded towards the granary at Pallikale. Recently, undisturbed paddy and rice was distributed amongst the Raja Mahaviharas, including the Sri Dhal Mangala, the Devalaya at the Viharaya, and a number of shrines given in the royal list. After receiving the new harvest of the rice, the Perhera of the Sri Dhal Mangala, after the nighttime repose at the Gangarama Viharaya, arrived in Grand Perhera at the Sri Dhal Mangala again. The new harvest brought with the Grand Perhera is offered to the sacred tooth relic at the Dhal Mangala.
And with that, that's a wrap of tonight's Primetime News. Until we meet again next time, do take care and good night.
Good night.